2 weeks after the rage wave took effect, it had conked out nearly completely. They were still unhappy with what MEHM had done to Flick, Ash, Bo and Stan, but luckily the arm-harmed group members had accomplished their acts. Ash, Bo and Stan were still in the hospital and getting thermal imagery surgery operations, or TISO for short. £10,000 for each one, so the Teammates of Britain taxpayer had to send £30,000 to Edinburgh Royal Infirmary. If not done, Ash, Bo and Stan may be dead.
What? Well, an ordinary surgery operation is 5 times more expensive than a TISO. So I suppose we have no other choice, as this isn't a request. It's supposed to be resolved through strict forces.
If the 3 were going to be ordinary surgery operations, then they'd have to pay up to £150,000.
You think we must see if Flick is doing alright in the attic of his. Oh no, would he? Oh, why not? If he wants to be alone, leave him alone. Oh, look what I found. British Steam is the guide to the great days of British Steam. Train contains forgettable memorabilia, that's it, and N Aero Class 440 number 9017 named Earl of Barclay. I'm surprised you know this much about steam trains. Now listen to this. That man, that's Richard Tenterick. He was an English engineer and instructor back in 1971 and died in 1833. Wasn't that the year animation was born, 1833? They say that's so, but others say it was 1908. So 75 years difference. And back in 1833 there was no transport, no electricity. Well, not exactly, because stars, including our sun, brings gases. Burning gases can generate electricity, and they been around for billions of years. There was no reason, no rocket, no robots, no NASA. Now that stuff in those days, that'd be why it's got inside a time machine to the late 18th century or the whole 19th century or the early 20th century and mention any of those things to people who lived in those days. They'd be asking what things these are. This is the current case. Since then they've been known as trains. This book focuses on how it all began. Since then it's been building up, modernization, trains getting bigger, more simple in terms of design. The World War I came along and after Franz Ferdinand was killed, and it lasted about 4 years, in which millions of people died. Then the Flying Scotsman was built as an A1 or an A3 in 1923. This was the same year as when the big 4 railway companies got into establishment: LNER, London and North Eastern Railways; GWR, Great Western Railways; LMS, London, Midland and Scotland Railways; and SR, Southern Railways. Then in 1938, the Mallard and streamlined LNER A4 was built, and Flying Scotsman and Mallard, have you know, now were built in by the same guy, Sir Nigel Greasley, and went 126 miles an hour, resulting in being known as the world's fastest steam train. Then World War II came along, and the globe under Hitler's control, in which 50 million people died, and it was on for 6 years. Then in 1948, nationalisation, which took the big 4 into one, British Railways. Then as the 1950s came along, there was WD, which stands for War Department, and the steam design, standard design, MTs mixed together, mixed traffic, diesels and electric were being born. The steam age was dying, and by the 1960s it was dead, and many classes of steam locomotive are on the block and extinction. However, not all steam trains has gone, and it's not just in the UK, they're being gone.
Now then, Marty, Michael and Felix, now that you 3 are currently out of drilling, because you can't do it without Homer, I need you 3 to head off to South Wales in Barry to find some newcomers to temporarily take Flick's place while he's been stuck in his attic for over a fortnight.
Has he even gone anywhere near the ladder to get out of that attic of his for a whole 2 weeks? I mean, we all need to eat and drink.
I think there's a food machine and a drinks machine in the attic. Anyway, you three better get going to Walford. Doc Emmett Brown will be there waiting for you.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Since Flick had eaten that whole cake and it was almost all chocolate, it had easily made him very sick, as it was way too much chocolate.
I'm starting to think we should have identity detectors on our tops to go more into further detail analysing about anyone we'd suspect are affiliated with MEHM to know exactly what their plan is.
Meanwhile, with Shrek and Sully, they were outside the lock centre when something was about to happen.
Och, isn't it that Fiona Manishee?
Yep. Isn't that lassie lovely, eh?
Shoot. Aha, that's them.
They're who?
They eight are who tried to murder Flick, Ash, Bob and Stan.
That's it. Get the troops. Kyle, Eric, sorry, but this is a grown-up's teenager job.
Understandable. Yeah, they're too strong for us and we might get hurt.
That's absolutely right. So may I kindly ask you two to leave the area. Now, you five make sure they don't escape. And if they do it, try as hard as you can to hold them there. I'm calling the police.
What is your problem? How may I help you?
Hello, the lock centre. Yes, we've caught the gang of criminals that attempted to murder Flick, Ash Ketchum, Bo Duke and Stan Marsh, and we need you to arrest them before things go from bad to terrible.
Just be 2 minutes. Thanks for stating the emergency.
Let's get the show on the road and catch these criminals.
Now then, where's the criminals?
There. Hello, hello, hello.
The eight now knew they were busted.
Boys, we arrest them.
Hello, hello, hello. You're all going to jail for a long time.
Hello, hello, hello. You're under arrest for a murder.
And the police cars drove from the lock centre back to their police station. Their staging base, you might say.
Serves those psychopaths right.
The train was supposed to be here 35 minutes ago. Well, fix it Felix said, and it just goes to show you. You never know what the bottom line could be to this.
Ah, where have you four been?
The traffic was ridiculous.
A Ferrari car had been driven by some self-centred bossyboot who was careless enough to speed onto the main road and didn't even go to the petrol station and found herself responsible for this.
Are you sure you're paying attention on this? I've quite the experience on driving nowadays. If I were independent, I'd run to the petrol station if I were you.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah. You geez, I totally keep cutting fat.
But Maxie was low on fuel, only 2% and 8 minutes remaining. And in 8 minutes, he'd be stuck on the high street, causing widespread condemnation.
Come on, you lazy butthead.
I can't. My fuel has run out.
No, it hasn't, liar.
Maxie was cross.
Yes, it has, Mrs. Grumpy. You should have went to the bloody petrol station. But you were too bloody selfish and impatient. You need to learn to take a tell and pay attention.
Oh my god, just go and shut your gaggy.
Oh, absolutely joking. Spectacular. Now I guess we'll just have to wait for the train to come and pick us up.
That must be it over there in the distance.
A Class 37 D6707 was pulling a passenger train heading to Barry.
This must be it.
And the passenger train set off.
Silence! The escort is in the one station. Our cases Hopper, Lord Farquhar, Gorham, Dr. Tushin-Schmuckle, Paul Tannen, Sheriff Roscoe, Pete Coltrane, Stinky Peter, and also accused of attempted murder. Hopper and Lord Farquhar stole Minimine's VBR and fed Flick a chocolate cake with a bomb hidden in the core of it, in which it nearly exploded. But luckily enough, the bomb squad came to the rescue. Okay then, you two. What do you have to say for what you have done did?
I'm innocent, I swear. You're just stupid enough to believe this fat, ugly pig.
Ahem. Gollum and Dr. Doofenshmirtz used real lava to burn Bo Duke's leg off, when it was supposed to be pretending.
Don't blame this whole thing on us. He's trying to blind you.
Don't you even think about it, bud. Biff Tannen and Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane threw a plugged-in Nintendo Wii into the swimming pool, sending shockwaves electrocuting Ash Ketchum and causing the building to explode.
Who are you saying caused the building to explode, butthead?
You lot are on thin ice. Lastly, Stinky Pete and Lodso used electrocute Stan Marsh, and now Flick, Ash, Bo and Stan are all out of action.
Yeah, who says your honour to a scientific knowledge, you ugly, fat, piggy, wimpy, bozoing, jobby face?
Alright, that's it. You've crossed the line.
Officers, arrest him. And hold on a minute. I was originally going to sentence these 8 to 25 years behind bars. But after hearing language like this, and making it 26 years behind bars. Officers, arrest him this instant.
They're so gonna pay for this.
I consider we do that tomorrow, and it's, of course, incredibly dark, and we don't have any headlights, so we can't see where we're going.
All but Marty were asleep. He had a torch in his pocket. They were circling a campfire. As the field was moisty, he lit his torch brightly. He found himself inside a locomotive graveyard.
Where is everybody? Hello? Is anyone here? Usually a few guys would be out here maintaining and guarding the area.
It looks dead. Harry and Marv were creeping around nearby. The two of Jack Torrance's main sidekicks saw the chance to scare Marty Mcfly. But did they? Well, they didn't. Piles of steel, metal, steam locomotives were scrapped and dumped in sidings to make way for diesels and electric. And they're all very expensive. Some of these are at least £50,000. At cheapest, that is. There are some engines here which there are none left, and this is why classes of locomotives like this are what are declared extinct. And there are quite a few engines around here that are in the prime of extinction. Counties, Granges, V3s, J50s. But this one is a Grizzly B17 designed by Sir Nigel Grizzly. 73 were built between 1928 and 1937, but were withdrawn from service between 1952 and 1960, and all were shamefully cut up and scrapped by 1968. Because of this one, and countless other classes of locomotives like this one, are what people tend to say extinct. This one, number 2842 in LNER, but in British Railways it would be numbered 61642, named Kilverstone Hall. To get it saved and to steam again, it'd be worth £450,000. But Marty Mcfly was insanely rich. He had nearly £800,000. He'd spend 56.25% of how much he's got if he were to die. Then he saw Kilverstone Hall in front of him. What the God?
Is that you, Marty McFly?
Who was that?
It is us, looking for somewhere to shelter.
Who are you? Where is your voice coming from? What are you doing out here in pitch black?
Well, excuse me, but what in the look of souls from hot females that think highly of themselves are you doing outdoors at this time in the morning? It's 1:15.
I was just looking for guys to come with me and my friends to strengthen our TOB forces.
Is this guy a predator? Hang on a second. You, friend or foe?
Friend.
Who's this?
Hold your horses. I don't bite. I'm just here to find a bunch of guys to take over for some of our mates while they all are currently out of action.
Well, sorry to break it to you, but we can't do that.
What?
You see, we've been moving round and round and round the country since the 1540s. My name is Simon, the smart one, and I was born in the year 618. That's Alvin, he tends to say he's the awesomest one, and he was born in 631. And that's Theodore, the timid one. He was born in 668. For 875 years we had lived in a house with Dave Seville, but he's dead now, as he was shot in the neck by MEHM.
Wait, even you know MEHM too? And for 473 years, you've been everywhere on Britain looking for a new home. If you do, then go my direction.
Well, come on, you two. We're better to go with him than to just continue with what we've always been doing for centuries.
And another thing, this B-17 locomotive. I've got enough cash. Wakey, wakey, rise and shine.
Oh, what time is it? It's 7:40. No, it's 8:30.
Well, let's get a move on.
Let me guess. In order to hunt for someone to join us.
Not that.
What do you mean, not that?
You've got some. But there's another mission to be accomplished.
Now, these locomotives, quick successful engines back in the day, but they're all gone now, which it's a total tragedy. What are you calling us here to see this engine? Och, no danger, man.
Well, I've got enough cash to spend on it.
Are you the guy that owns this area?
Yep, yeah. Is this the engine you wanted to take away?
Yes.
It's £450,000.
I've got £800,000.
I must say, you've got quite enough to keep £350,000.
After the mission was accomplished,
Right, let's get the show on the rails.
So next stop is Crew Works, which is where it gets mended and repainted. This B-17 needs repaired and repainted.
Yep, it'll take 3 hours.
180 minutes. Maybe we should get to know these old field chaps.
So, they've been arrested.
Yep, but we completely doubt they're not going to get out, or anyone like their 8 guys. It's highly unlikely that MEHM suddenly going to go away just because we arrested Hopper, Farquaad, Gollum, Doofenshmirtz, Biff, Roscoe, Lotso and Stinky Pete. We do suspect that other members of MEHM will bail them out at any time. So we believe they will try some sort of retribution attack. It could happen at any time. As I just said, we don't see a horrorless future. So there is a heavy chance that our country may be reaching a drawn-out, slow-starting degree of invasion because we don't know where MEHM comes from.
Understandable. Just as well my unharmed team member groups have finished their acts. I even got to watch them.
I am starting to think we should lay railway tracks around here.
What do you mean?
We will possibly need a rescue engine for rescue on the rails.
Here it is, fellas.
How are we all going to fit on that?
Well, here's the answer. There is a train over on that siding. Over there, passenger train heading to Edinburgh. By 10 o'clock at night, it was meant to be pulled by a standard class 4460, but it derailed. So this engine will have to pull it.
Sounds as though we're lucky. This thing has no driver or fireman, so I'll have to drive it along with Doc to be its fireman.
The passenger train was heading off to Mallaig now, pulled by a Class 47.
Perhaps we could take it home now? Someone will have to keep watch of it.
I'll do that. Now you lot get back to Tranent and get Sir Mario here.
Yeah.
Now you, Marty, stay here. Mario is going to be coming. So all you, except for Marty Mcfly, need to get out and get back to your usual, because we need to make room in this car. What is going on here?
Doc, where are the newcomers?
I got Alvin, Simon and Theodore to do all Flick's work until he's out of the attic of his.
Oh, yes. Yes, that.
Gordon Ramsay. More chicken nuggets, please.
But there's something else in Walliford.
Okay, then. Show me to it, please.
So it was this thing here.
Here it is, sir. I'm amazed it's not been stolen yet.
This was a really successful class of steam locomotives. Where did you find it?
At Barry's scrapyard, where I also found these 3 newcomers, and there was an unconfirmable number of extinct classes of British steam locomotives. J50s, D16s, Counties, Granges, V3s, B2s, Patriots, etc. This one, LNAR B17, is one of those extinct classes of locomotives, or used to be.
How much was it?
£450,000. I've still got £350,000. Then it stopped at Crewe, where it got repaired and repainted. Now it's looking as good as new. Then after 3 hours of getting it restored and us getting along with the 3 newcomers, it was to take a train to Edinburgh. That train then had to be taken by a Class 47 diesel to Inverness. So, what could it be of use, do you think?
You, my man, are a genius bum.
So, what are you going to do with it?
Maybe, since there's a heavy chance that MEHM will strike again, so maybe we can use this as a rescue engine for rescuers on rails, but we'll need to lay more tracks around our castle.
Oh yeah, even a shed to spare, yes.
The lot are about to start work on that soon, but that's a story for another day.
Oi, we're all in jail.
Then we better bail you boys out. We've got an army to command.
Oh, cover his